Chlorine, if you've been to a swimming pool or used bleach, that's as close as I can get to it. Dry chlorine has a little bit sharper smell. It's a yellow gas, it's heavy, it stays on the ground, and if a lot of it is released, it'll flow somewhere.
That's what happened yesterday when a half-full chlorine tank behind the Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant started leaking and prompted the evacuation and closure of roads into the Two Lovers Point area. GWA Safety Manager Paul Kemp says a valve failed on the chlorine tank. The leak was finally sealed last evening. The tank safely decontaminated early this morning.
What happened was that the valves that were connected to the discharge line failed. We didn't know that. But we didn't find that until last night when we finally got somebody in there with a camera in a level A suit, and they took pictures and both valves were closed, but chlorine was running out of the end of that hose. So what had happened is when that hose had fallen out of the tank, that was when the chlorine had been going all this time, but it was going into the tank until about 10 o'clock yesterday morning. And at that point, then we activated the emergency response plan. And it wasn't until about 6 that we could actually get back in there and find out what went wrong. Well, we fixed that right away by taping the hose to a pipe and holding it down and mounting it so it couldn't come back out of the tank. And at that point, chlorine releases were over.
Although the roads were reopened about 9 this morning, public safety officials say that they will continue to monitor vehicles entering and leaving the area until the decontamination of the old chlorine tanks has been completed. For more than a week now, a GWA contractor has been decontaminating these old 1-ton chlorine tanks. They had been left behind the Northern Wastewater Treatment Plant back in the mid-90s and forgotten. They were found some months ago by GWA's contractor Veolia, which raised the alarm. An off-island contractor was brought in to dispose of them. They've been working at night in hazmat suits, drilling into the tanks to see whether any chlorine was left inside. The cleaning and disposal of the first 6 tanks went well. No chlorine was found inside of them. It was the 7th tank that was found to be half full Sunday night. The leak was discovered about 10 a.m. Monday morning.
The wind actually mixed it up and cut it down. It was coming out of the cylinders at probably 100%, but the wind was diluting it so that by the time it reached the sensor about 10 feet away, it was already down to 15 parts per million. That's very low. It's toxic to humans, but it's very low.
Because the wind was blowing in the direction of Two Lovers Point, a popular tourist attraction overlooking Tumon Bay, an emergency plan, which was already in place, was activated.
It was blowing straight towards Two Lovers Point. So the fire department closed off the roads, shut down access to Two Lovers Point and the work area.
Was there ever a threat to public health?
There would have been if we hadn't closed off the sites. We got it in time.
Kemp says the decontamination work has been complicated by water that got into the tanks over the years that they lay idle and rusted the insides. And what was originally dry chlorine has now become wet chlorine.
I think we'll probably step back and regroup now and think twice, because what we've encountered is wet chlorine. That's the reason the valves failed. What we expected was dry chlorine, and it reacts very, very differently.
So more cautious, more lengthy process.
So we may change the actual composition of the valves we use so that they can handle the wet chlorine.
I guess this is a dangerous and risky procedure.
It could be, and fortunately the precautions we've taken have proven that we can manage it even if it gets away from us.